Welcome back to Emporia, Kansas for the 2024 PDGA Professional Masters Disc Golf World Championships presented by Dynamic Discs. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth today by Dan Brooks-Wells. How's it going, Dan?
We are doing great today. We are back to see some awesome golf here at Champions Landing. It's not going to be as hot today, as you can see. We got to see what the wind is doing out here, though.
Yes, always an important factor in Emporia, Kansas. Rovere still got himself an 8-stroke lead over his next closest competitor, Eric McCabe, Jeff Faes, and Mika Laikko. We've seen them for the past 3 rounds now, looking to make a push. Remember, after this round, we will make a cut to the top 4 players for the final 9 holes, so keep an eye on Kayla Viska, Scott Conway, et al., looking to make a push up the leaderboard.
All right, here we go. Hole 1, par 5, 999 feet, OB on the left, OB on the right. You're trying to crush it down this fairway and give yourself an easy pitch up to take your birdie. Really nothing much to it but to stay in the fairway, get it down here.
Yeah, these guys have more than enough distance to bite this hole into manageable chunks. We've seen Joe just play with so much consistency at this course at Champions Landing. Just never really in a lot of pressure. Just giving himself plenty of birdie looks and really shredding almost every single round.
Yeah, I mean, we have some guys who could potentially catch him here, but they're going to have to put in some serious work. You know, one of those guys here is Eric McCabe, course designer and previous world champion.
Going with the nice big spike hyzer here, not bringing either of the 2 OBs into play and still biting off plenty of distance to where he's well within birdie range with a shot like that.
Yeah, I don't mind being on the left side of the fairway. You kind of just get to blast another hyzer up there. And Jeff is really taking his high and right, making sure he does not go OB. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, Mika Laikko still on the lead card after kind of a bit of a struggle in the previous round over at Jones East. But he's played well enough this whole tournament to earn his spot here and hoping to stay on for 9 more holes after this round. Like we mentioned, looking at the leaderboard, there are a couple players that are going to be looking to chase him down, so we'll have to keep an eye on them all round.
So these guys are going to be looking at this slightly uphill shot, but again, you got a lot of room to the left and to the right. You just want to make sure it doesn't bleed too far left or right.
Here you, Jeff. Ready to go?
Yep, and that's well thrown from McCabe. Plenty of space over there, like you said. Only difficult thing about this shot in these calmer conditions that we have today is the fact that it is somewhat blind, so these guys have to kind of pick a spot in the distance and trust it. But after this now being their 3rd time playing the hole in competition, it's not going to bring too much trouble. I would be very surprised if we don't see another star frame here.
Here's Jeff getting a little flexy with this one. Landing right up there next to Rovere. See, Mika has to, he kind of has to throw a little bit of a flex, like left to right flex, because he's on that right side. Just another degree of difficulty, but not too difficult for him. He'll have a look at a eagle here.
Yeah, that is the advantage of playing that flex play, is he's able to bite off a little bit more distance. And yeah, probably in 60-foot range or so. We'll see if he gives that one a bid. I would love to see an eagle here to start off the day. But first, we've got a couple of short upshots from these guys, probably no more than 120 feet or so. Just a nice, safe pitch up. Last minute switch by Joe.
You know, we've heard tales of Joe being a little injured this week. I would hate to imagine him, not injured. How well he would be doing. I don't. Seems like he's doing as best as he can, but you never know.
If this is 65% Joe, then I don't know what 100% Joe is like. This is an eagle
Come on.
bid from Mika Laikko, just off the top. Gotta respect the effort. Gave it a good run.
Didn't leave it short. Jeff with a good tap in. This is a good hole. I think it's kind of a good starting hole, especially if you have a little bit of jitters or like you're just not. I don't know. Maybe you're just not loose enough. You get to rip a few shots out there. You have like a short upshot, and hopefully you have less than a 20-foot putt, and it just feels like a feel-good hole to start your day off.
It did play as the easiest hole on the course. There were two eagles. Shout out to Matthew Blakely and Jarno Pistakowski. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Both picking up the 3. Great way to start your semifinal round.
You definitely said it better than I would. And there's a good putt by McCabe. It looks like we are going to be left with a star frame here.
Well done, gents.
Hole 2, par 4, 745 feet. OB on this left side, starting where those flags are. Kind of deflect something over to this right side, landing somewhere around here. And then it's a blind shot up to this basket. A lot of people take a hyzer to the right of these trees. Now, it doesn't feel very windy right now. So I feel like that's where a lot of the danger comes in on this hole. A lot of these guys have this skill to be able to put the right angle and power on this shot to get it to flex beyond this tree.
Yeah, in calm conditions, these guys all know exactly how their discs fly, right? So it's a very simple decision. When it starts to get a little windy, that's when you may have to change your game plan or what you practiced before, and mistakes can come into play. This one is a bit pulled from McCabe. Oh, and that's just an absolutely horrible kick.
Oh, my
Straight left into the out of bounds. You see a lot of people just get straight through that tree without any issue, but not this time.
That time, trees are real. Fortunately.
We all have to learn that lesson the hard way at some point.
Faes has been going with the forehand off of this tee. I don't see why he would change up anytime soon.
Yep, definitely the safer option if you've got it. Although this is very wide.
That's got a swing.
Just no chance.
Yeah.
Gonna find the out of bounds. Unfortunately, I just pulled that one a little bit. Maybe tried to put a little too much sauce on it.
Yeah, it can happen quick. I mean, it's not like that was that big of a pull. It just a little off. But Mika able to drive that one more forward and getting a nice skip out of it as well.
I like the low play there. That's a very safe option. Never risking going out of bounds, and he's still well within birdie range from there.
Absolutely. Good shot by Faes. It's really hard to reach the pin from back from where he was. I mean, you got to have an absolute Anthony Barella cannon.
Yeah, I expecting these guys to be coming up about 100 feet short from here, but I'd love to be proven wrong. This is on a great line from McCabe, but it's just such a far shot from back there that it's coming up about 100 short. Just going to end up having to pitch up for the bogey.
Yeah, Rovere here in a nice spot. He can just rip something up this right side. This does seem a little early, short and early.
Yeah, I don't think he quite got as much on the tee shot as he would have liked. It kind of burned over a little bit, so a little longer into the green than ideal, but an easy par is just fine, especially with his two closest competitors both looking at a bogey coming up.
Yeah, and you gotta think as Mika takes this shot, which is looking pretty dang good inside the circle there for his birdie. This is the fifth round, and it's a lot of golf for anyone. You got to think the wear and tear going on.
Yeah,
How
and
much
this is also
energy
the
is left?
first morning round these guys have had. The semifinal round was a shotgun start on this course, with the top 40% of the field. So, these guys have been doing tee times all week. They probably had,
Mm-hmm.
2:30, 3 o'clock type tee times. And having to get up a little earlier today, you never know. Sometimes takes certain players a little bit longer to warm up.
And Joe, content with laying that up and walking away with his par.
Yeah,
See,
so
the wind is
Lyco with,
starting to pick up.
yeah, that tree in the background waving a little bit. This is the only birdie look of the group, and he is able to capitalize from 18 feet.
Very nice. 2 for 2 to start. McCabe here to save his bogey.
Well done.
There's a good strike.
Yeah, I mean, something to start talking about, too, as Joe's going to have himself a 9-stroke lead after this hole. There are certain holes on this course that you definitely can take an aggressive line and a safe line. And if I'm Joe, I'm taking all of the safe lines and laying up all of the tester putts.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. And there is a safe line here at hole 3. This is a par 3, 466 feet. A lot of people take this left side. There is OB left, OB right. But it's really tough to get this one all the way down the hill to give yourself a putt, especially with the right hand backhand. You need like a slow turning shot all the way. Very, very difficult, highly technical.
This one has good height on it,
Thank you.
but it's just going to fade out a little bit. Actually, pretty
That
great
was,
overall. That was a lot better than I thought. I thought it was leaking out a little left, but
yeah, that's kind of what I saw too, and that's what we've been seeing everybody pretty much do.
looking like a similar shot from Rovere. A little more left than Laikko's shot. He's probably out in that 50-foot range.
Here's McCabe doing a similar thing. This one's a little low, it seems. And this one is definitely getting out to the left a bit. Stay safe. Probably a long circle 2, maybe just outside this circle 2 look.
Yeah, there is that one tree short left of the green that might be in the way of these putts. We'll have to see what these players end up doing with that. This looks like it's on a nice angle. We'll see about the distance.
I think that hit that tree or hit something to knock it. That's a good sit.
Yeah, definitely was contending with that OB long if it didn't slow down quickly.
Yeah, just a little bit too far to run.
Especially these putts a little downhill. Maybe a floaty bid from Rovere, but content with a par here.
Faes seems to be looking up at something. Maybe he's looking up at the wind. Just leaves it a bit short. Not going to be happy with that bid, but he'll be able to tap in for his par.
Yeah, and Laikko now with a chance to start 3 for 3.
Yeah, and like we discussed in the beginning, only the top 4 make it to that final 9, so Mike has got to keep his spot, and he's definitely doing what he's got to do to maintain.
Yeah, dream start out here for him. Hole 3 came in the middle of the pack at a 2.92 average, so definitely not a must get. It's a birdie that feels good to pick up.
Ricky, distance driver in hand. What? What just happened? What just happened? Wysocki blows up the basket on the 16th. I don't know what that is, but it definitely bombs.
Visit quirkygoodies.com today. We have over 100 fun, unique disc golf tees along with hats, stickers, metal wall art, and much more. Use code PDGA20 for 20% off.
Hole 4, par 3, 466 feet. Throwing something overstable, straight, letting it dump in. There is OB on the left beyond the path, and there is an OB green on the right.
Yeah, just big power hyzer for most of these guys. Just want to make sure you give it enough width to swing back at the end. And this is looking nice out of the hand. We'll see about
Asking
the
for it to,
distance.
yeah, ask for it to get down. I think he wanted to stay up a bit. I think he was confused.
Yeah, comes up a bit short. Still putting for birdie though.
Yeah. Yes. And they are, I forgot to mention, guys, they are teeing off from an elevated tee pad. So these can swing over very far. And there's a good rip by Rovere. I believe he's done that all 3 rounds.
Yep, Joe's got these kind of 400-ish foot spike hyzers pretty much dialed in. It's a very useful tool at these courses. This looks a bit wide and low. We'll see if it gets the finish. A little bit. Out in
Yeah,
circle
it gets
2.
Yeah, he probably wants that, you know, to swing a little bit more. It gets more of a straight skip rather than a skip to the left. Faes putting a lot of hyzer on this one. It's got to get down. Come back in.
Gotta
love
lean
it.
from the camera
Yep.
to get around the tree. That is a good break for Faes, able to stay inbounds.
Did you lean your head when the camera leaned?
You're calling me out, Danny. But
Yeah.
maybe. A bit low for McCabe there
Yeah,
on
just a
his
little.
birdie look.
Tough run to give with that left to right wind. Faes here, I believe it's going to be somewhat of a headwind. I was wrong.
Tailwind, but it doesn't matter because he knocks it down either way. Nice birdie putt there for Jeff Faes, taking advantage of the good break.
Mika from a similar distance here. Oh, just a bit short to keep his hot streak going. Sorry, he'll still be able to tap in for par and keep that 3 down.
Yeah, Rovere now. We're about 23 feet for his birdie putt. Connects. Nice smooth stroke there.
Couple of tap ins as we head to hole 5. Right, hole 5, par 4, 675 feet. Throwing a shot kind of straight out here, letting it hyzer in to right about here. OB on the left, OB on the right. Pick a path, how you want to get up to this bottlenecked green, or this very thin green here. We saw Joe here go straight off the tee and then kind of hyzer out, and then he likes to take the middle gap.
Yeah, there's a couple different middle gaps to choose from for your second shot. This one is fading out a little bit, but should check up in plenty of time. There's a nice hillside there to kind of catch the disc. Keep it inbounds. So he should probably have that middle gap again, I would think, for his upshot.
Yeah, I believe so. And Faes, from what I remember, he did go OB the last round we played here, so on the left side, and he overcorrects. Is that in bounds?
I think it might be short enough that it is still in bounds. We'll see here in a second.
This needs to swing back. It's good.
Yeah, he'll have that wide hyzer into the green, which is a bit daunting because, you know, if you leave it out too wide, obviously it's going to be very punishing and out of bounds, but it is the most open shot. This is absolutely smoked from Eric McCabe. Well past that
kidding.
cart path that we use as a guide for what a good shot is. So looks like, yes, Jeff Faes was indeed out of bounds over that cart path. So he's left with a pretty big spike hyzer out and around to try to save his par here.
Yeah, and this is where it can get dangerous, because if you try to do too much, it is really easy to just leave this OB. But he does seem to get the height on it. And it does hit center cut, but it's a pretty far look from there.
Yeah, uphill from about 60 feet. This is one of those decisions, right? Joe could go out and around to the left. It is the most open play, but it's also the most dangerous, right? Because if you don't come back, you're taking a guaranteed bogey at best. So opts for the safer option, but he might have found the OB anyway.
I'm not sure where that got to, but either, I mean, the point still stands. Even if he did kick OB there, he gets his, you know, he gets to take his lie up there instead of his OB stroke really early left. And Mika here is left with a hyzer into the pin, gets the skip off the path.
Thank you.
You gotta love it. That was pretty awesome. You'll have a drop-in bird there.
Yeah, what a great break. If that lands 2 feet to the right, there's a chance it doesn't skip at all with that steep hyzer angle. So worked out in his favor. And yeah, what an absolutely great drive from Eric McCabe. Oh, but he just leaves the upshot too high.
Yeah, that's definitely an unfortunate up. And here's Rovere pitching up here. We're still not sure if he went OB, if I'm being honest.
Looks like he did. I'm thinking this is going to be a drop-in bogey. Is this his first bogey on the Champions Landing course?
It might be. I don't really recall.
He's played so clean
bogey
all week that it would not surprise me if it is. It's a long par save from Jeff Faes. Trying to drop it in there.
Yeah, just a little high. I do recall a few eagles from Rovere, but I don't recall any bogeys. That must be nice to have more eagles than bogeys.
Can't relate.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
So some struggles from the card on this one.
Tap-ins here. Yeah, a little
Nice
bit. It
birdie.
seems like somebody always struggles at some point. It's just so easy to go OB on some shot there. But you then get rewarded with this hole 6, par 3, 300 feet, dead straight. The only challenge really is the elevated pin.
Yeah, could potentially make you a little nervous on some circle's edge putts if you're not able to throw the intended tee shot.
He doesn't like it. And that will be that circle's edge just outside the circle look. Now there is OB to the right, as you can see, but you'd have to really pull one over there.
This is a good looking line from Eric McCabe. He's going to check up well inside the circle, about 22 feet or so left for his birdie. See how Joe bounces back. Hasn't had too many opportunities to bounce back. And that's how you'd like to draw it up right there.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good bounce back hole. You know what I mean? So
It is a good confidence builder, but if you don't throw it well, it could be kind of demoralizing.
true that. Yeah, it could have the reverse result. Yeah. Phase. This is a little low. I don't think it's going to get. Oh, maybe it does.
A little bit
It
of
does-
ground play.
Yeah, it gets a little bit of skip, but he's still going to be at that circle's edge position.
Yeah, so Laikko will be up first from just outside the circle. Fortunate to hit the flag there and keep him close, or that would have been another long look coming back. Faes is about the same distance. Ooh, and that is a really nice putt.
Very nice. Good bounce back by Faes there as well. McCabe here to kind of get something going. We see 3 pars in a row. See if he can knock one down. Man, seen a few of those from him, just a little short here and there.
Wow.
Oh no. And Faes takes a stroke on the card.
Very surprising. Hole 6 got to be up there on the easiest holes on the course. Just a wide open 300-foot par 3, so maybe just a little lapse in focus from these guys on those putts. The long weekend, or long week, is starting to take its toll.
That's definitely a factor.
As we take a look at the leaderboard through 6 holes, remember, keep an eye on that 4th place line. Right now, Mika Laikko with 3 strokes.
Nobody is immune to a course like Northwood Black.
Just throwing laser beams.
That's so good.
Bresnell, the birdie, the fist pump.
Critical shot.
Gotta get up. Bresnell.
That is a shot of a champion.
Your 2024 Champions Cup winner, Andrew Bresnell.
And we're stepping over here to hole 7. This is a par 4, 678 feet. Tight shot off the tee, traveling your disc over this OB and ending up somewhere in here. You'll have a straight to hyzer shot into this pin. So the real trouble is making sure you get through the gap. You do tee off from out of bounds. And once you get out the gap, making sure you do not hyzer out too much, because we do see skips to the left side OB.
This one flips up nicely for Jeff Faes. It's going to find the ground in a very nice spot. We'll have a straight finish. Backhand hyzer shot into the green from there. We've mentioned it a couple times. There's this branch you can see kind of across the gap, which creates a bit of a low ceiling on this tee pad. So height control, very important factor on this tee shot.
Go. Mika Laikko is also out there where you want to be. Just a hyzer into the pin from there.
See if Eric McCabe can get his round going here. He's gotten off to a bit of a slow start. This needs to slide, and it does. A little nervy there, crossing the OB at its longest point, but downhill there really wasn't ever too much of a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen Joe do this play all 3 rounds, which is something, he takes something that's really overstable and always ends up, he gets in front of this tree, but it just checks up. Like, it doesn't really have a chance to get over to that left side OB. I really like that play. Yeah, he does have this tree to contend with, but it's still just a hyzer into the pin.
Yeah, leaves it a little wide, probably due to that tree that was right in front of his lie, so he'll be out in that deep circle 2 range, most likely, just laying it up, taking a nice safe par. A bit low to the hand.
You see, he went more direct at it, trying to get that skip up. Has another circle's edge putt, little tester for him.
Yeah, I just didn't quite get the height right. The combination of this bit of uphill and the low ceiling. Important to get the height right on. An early release from Faes. Kind of come up
Not
short.
what you want. And this was a crush.
Yeah, McCabe is coming out slinging today. Has definitely plenty of distance to score out here. Just the putter hasn't connected quite yet, and upshots like that of just been leaving a lot
Short.
to be desired.
Man, I after seeing those last 2 shots, maybe 3 shots, there's a good bid from Jeff. Just comes up a little short. I really do think this 5th round is just taking a toll on him. It's tiring, and they've been playing in the heat all week, and that can just take it out of you.
Yeah, we'll see if he can lock back in here from about 43, 45 feet. Nah, just nothing on it.
See if Mika can connect on one here. Again, he is still trying to maintain that 4th place for that final 9, and he hits it dead center.
The guy's on a heater to start his day, 5 through 7. With the rest of the card kind of struggling to get something going.
Rovere coming back to take his par. Yeah, absolutely. He's got 4 strokes on Joe and Jeff. Those guys are just kind of struggling a little bit. That's kind of what we expect. We expect a little, the 4 5s.
At some point, if anybody on this card is going to challenge Joe Rovere right now, my money is on Mika Laikko. The guy is starting to make some moves.
Let's keep those moves going here on hole 8. This is a par 5, 886 feet. OB to the right of this cart path, OB on this left side. You need to pitch up over this hill for your second shot, landing somewhere in this area, making sure you do not slip OB to the left, and then throwing another upshot into this pin. We've been seeing a lot of guys disc down to make sure they stay in the fairway. The other place is take something overstable and hold it out to the right and let it swing in. This needs to drop. I don't think this has a chance.
Nope.
Yeah.
Just finds the left side OB. I would love to see somebody go big on this tee today. Maybe Eric McCabe is going to be our guy. Given the struggles he's had so far, we might just see a frustration yeet.
Maybe. The old yeet. This has got the width. Let's see if he can get back to the center.
Yeah, that's a great shot from Faes. Good trust to leave it out that wide, knowing that's just what you have to do on this hole. Ah, it's just a mid-range.
No yeet. Come on, yeet the mid-range. Oh. Going with the safer play. And
oh no.
I think it's... No, it did slip out of bounds. Oh, man. Rovere shows you the width they're all intending to do. You don't really need that much distance off this tee to get the birdie.
Yeah, especially 886, they're throwing a downhill tee shot at like 300 or so feet. So, just like a mid-range and then maybe a fairway driver here on this little backhand turnover shot will leave you about less than 300 into the green. So still very birdieable. That was a nice shot from Rovere. Keeps him in position. This is leaking out. We'll see if it holds on. It does not.
This is how strokes can add up pretty quick. And Jeff is going to go. I really like this forehand play because it cuts into the hill rather than skipping with it. But I don't like that.
Oh,
now I do.
A bit deceptive from that camera angle, but it was just fine. But yeah, I thought he made the same mistake he made on hole 2 and just pulled it.
I mean, what are you worried about? What are you worried about, Nathan? There's nothing to worry about. Jeff knows his stuff.
I need to know if he thinks he shanked that too.
Yeah, that's fair. Mika here, after taking his OB stroke, he does check up short of the water, and he will have a chance to save his par.
Yeah, probably somewhere in the 250-foot range for these upshots. Just a little chip forehand.
I think Rovere's going through the trees here, taking the low route. Give him the skip.
Skip and the roll.
Yeah, very nice.
Giving him a short birdie putt coming up. Jeff going to the higher spike forehand.
Sit down.
Leaks a little long, but still will have a birdie look.
Yeah, Jeff's been solid on the putting green. Mika here. That does check up, probably similar distance to Faes. McCabe will be throwing. What's he throwing here? 3, 5.
Yep, so up and down for a bogey. Save.
Not what you're looking for on this hole. Those shots, like, both of them just kind of barely got away from him. And he does pay the price. Let's see if Faes can keep his good putt and stroke here. Just a bit high.
Yeah, tough miss. I'm sure it felt good out of the hand, but just didn't quite get the drop he was looking for. Laikko with a very good par save there to keep him at 5 under for the round.
Yeah, it didn't have to, obviously you want the birdie, but didn't have to take any positive strokes for the one mistake after throwing 3 good shots other than that. Good birdie by Rovere and an unfortunate bogey by McCabe. And this race for second is starting to pan out, become a little bit more interesting here. Right, on to the challenging hole 9. This is a par 4, 693 feet. You need to get out this gap and land inbounds here. Your next shot, you're throwing a towering Anheuser for the right-handed backhand player and trying to work your way into this bottlenecked green. If you do not land inbounds off the tee, you do have to go to the drop zone.
Yep, one of the most demanding tee shots on the course, very tight tunnel. This is leaking a bit left from Joe, but checks up in time. A bit short for where he'd like to be to get the birdie, but at this point he's probably very happy with par.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this feels like a bonus birdie. These shots that leak a little bit right, you can definitely get a little bit more distance, but it can cut you off. So staying straight, getting close to that path kind of gives you the best angle, I would say, into the pin.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. We saw a nice shot from Laikko. This is looking good from Faes as well, as long as it checks up in time. And it does.
Yeah, he's gonna like that one. Seems like a lot of slower discs. I think a lot of guys, when they first see this hole, are like, I'm gonna pump one way up there and get this birdie. And then they learn that throwing a mid is actually a pretty good play.
Yeah, McCabe, testing that left side path the most out of everyone on the card, and checking up inbounds, he's going to be rewarded with the best angle into the green.
This seems to have a little bit too much angle on it, but he does stay inbounds. There is OB up on that hill. You can kind of see those white flags up there. So you want to make sure you're turning this disc and you're giving it the height.
This came out a little low for Faes. We'll see if it clears that out of bounds. It does, so still in par range from over there.
Yeah, it's no guaranteed par either. You still got to hit a little gap to park this basket.
This is the aggressive line.
Yeah, just a little higher, giving it time to pan out. Might have worked out a little bit better, but you can see McCabe's angle. He's really close to the cart path. You can see this angle here gives him the best opportunity. Let's see if he can get the right height and angle on this. just kind of, it didn't stay on that cut. You have to throw this so high, it makes the, you just have to put more angle than what you think usually. Still a good shot.
Yeah, very difficult shot to throw well. That towering Anheuser that is essentially moving straight right by the time it gets to the apex of its flight.
Jeff with the little jumper comes up a little short. Not sure who that was. It was quick.
Yeah, Rovere, I think, just taking no time, pitching up. There's no way that he's going to run this, right?
People have done crazier things, but no, he's not that crazy. And that's all right.
That is okay. Not worth two-stroke swings this late into the round, so all these guys content to play for par here.
Faes left with a little bit to make his par.
That is a good putt there. We got to give a shout out to Ronnie Unruh, the only birdie on this hole on the day, which did play as the hardest hole on the course at a 4.58 average.
Yeah, I believe this was the hardest hole all 3 days.
It's not surprising.
No, not at all. We got a couple of tap-ins here to finish off our front 9. As you can see, McCabe 1 stroke ahead of Faes and Mika. Joe is still taking a commanding lead. But remember, we are looking at these top 4 guys. We got to see where everyone else sits currently.
Scott Conway and Brandon Cawthorn and Kale LaVisca all at 21 under par, so still a couple strokes back. We'll see if any of them can make a late push and join the final 4 competitors for our final 9 holes here on the back 9.